What's up? 2 videos in a day, we're getting pretty wild. I'm gonna show you guys something I made. And I was waiting actually to do the Jeep reveal to show you. So I made a makeshift table. This is kinda first thing I've ever really cut with an electric saw. So I was kinda nervous about it, but I'm just gonna tell you what I did and how I made it, and if you wanna make one yourself, obviously you can add your own touch to whatever. I'm still kinda trying to think of some ways to fancy this up a little bit, just a smidge. It's a little too basic for me right now. But what I did is I got some plywood. I think this is 3/8 of an inch thickness. I got it at Lowe's. I think it was $7 for a huge sheet, so I got 3 of these cut. What I did was I kind of just mock measured with a pencil where I needed to make cuts, cut it, and I actually had Lowe's cut the dimensions. I want to say this is 31.5 or 32 inches in length, and then it was 12, and then I had an 11.5 in this way. So after I cut these areas out right here, I took an electric sander and I sanded the crap out of it. It is plywood, so obviously it is not, you know, smooth as a kitchen countertop or something like that. So I sanded all this, I rounded off the corners, that way when they're down, they're not gonna kill anybody. I stained it. I used an espresso brown stain. I got a piano hinge, which is right here, that I used the screws that it came with to put into the plywood. And then after, I had a couple options. I could either use Gorilla Tape behind this, I could screw it into the body, which I didn't really want to do, or I thought of the idea of, let's see if I can get this off here. Oh, they're really, really strong. Okay, I can't. But I'm gonna put a picture up right now of what I used back here. They are magnets, and I used, I think, 6 or 8 of them. I wanna say 6 of them. But they're strong as crap. They're very, 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 very strong. The cool thing about it is if ever you needed to take this off, if you were kind of over it, wanted to upgrade it, do whatever, you can easily take it off. It's not permanent. Then, of course, I used magnets here as well. I just used 2 of these little circular magnets you would get at Home Depot or Lowe's or some kind of hardware store or something like that. I saw a guy use one like this that was filled in right here, and he put a screw through it, but you could see the screw kind of on the outside. I didn't want to do that. I just used super glue and it worked perfectly. Over here to keep this level, because if you don't have this on here, this piano hinge will let it just drop to where it'll hang. I used paracord, and there's obviously several different kinds you can choose from. And how I secured it was I drilled a hole right here and I put the paracord in, I knotted it, and I burnt it with a lighter. And then right here, I just undid that. I had to undo all of them in order to get a gap. I put the paracord through there, I knotted it as well, burnt it, and put that back in. So that's it. It's pretty plain and simple. Like I said, I'm kind of looking for some ways to fancy it up a little bit. I actually tried the Gorilla Tape before I used the magnets, and it did not work for me. That's what I had seen other people using, but it didn't work. I used the exact same kind and it did not work very well. So that's when I thought, well, why couldn't I use magnets? So that's what I did, and it's working perfect. This is pretty dang sturdy. It doesn't come off whenever I drive. The only time it's ever come off is if you were to do that really, really hard, and that would happen. So how I kind of shut it is I just give it a good, like that, nothing obnoxious, and it doesn't come off. A couple other things I got as little accessories, which the guy that I kind of tailored this after, he had some of these. I have 2 of them. It's just a light switch that you would see at Lowe's, and I believe it came 2 of these for like $4.95 or something like that. But what you're able to do is I can take these sticky things off and put it right here, or you can move it wherever you want. Anywhere that is metal, because it has these magnets right here. So I have to get batteries for it still, but I think I'm probably going to end up putting it right there. These Wranglers don't come with hardly any interior lights. That's it. Pretty plain and simple. Plywood, cut it, measured, cut it again, sanded it, stained it, screwed it to this piano hinge, put those metal bars or those magnet bars behind the piano hinge, and then paracord and magnets again, and then whatever lighting you want to do. that's it. It's really plain and simple, but that's kind of how I like things. Like I said, I'm looking for a way, you know, just to kind of maybe do a little something to it. I'm not sure yet what that is. Some people want them to where you can sit on them and use them for that. That's absolutely not what this is intended for. But I'll show you kind of the weight as to what all it can hold. Let's see, let's put some golf shoes. You know what, these are pretty heavy. It's a jack stand. Holds it perfectly. Nothing wobbles, nothing moves, and if any bit of your weight happens to take this down or move it, it's magnet, so you can just move it back up, which I probably will have to do once I take this off. But it works really, really well. It's super sturdy, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. That's it, and if you guys are looking to make this kind of table, obviously you can alter it anyway, but that's how I did mine. That is it. Thanks for watching.